What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? It is 5:30 p.m. Eastern time on January 23rd. You're watching the LoShack in the Bag Show. My name is Jimmy the Bag. My partner, Lodels LoShack, the legend, Lodels LoShack, is in New York City right now. We'll be back on Monday getting a well-earned vacation. We have a ton of work to do. We have a ton of important stuff to talk about. We are not going to talk about Doc Halladay not wearing a Blue Jays hat in the Hall of Fame. We're not going to waste our time in how sad that makes me feel. We're going to focus on making cash, and that's what we did on this late show yesterday. Big ups to all the cappers joining us in the chat. Ryan Campbell Sr. in business. Lamont Williams, OG Ram. We got Trot Lamb in the chat. Trot Lamb will be joining me in about 4 minutes here, breaking down a few of his bangers. We got Eric Cartman, Kane Ross, Joe Anisi, Joe Ramirez, Ringer Ring, Brandon Marin, Eric LaFrance, Smooth, my man Smooth in the house. Breeds Beats joining us once again. Marquise Bester, Sacktown King, Cove Coleon, Oh Money, Base Kniff, Jeremy Miller. We got a great group, and it's time to get to work. Let's get through this NHL very quickly because we'll have Trot Lamb for 10 minutes from 5:35 to 5:45 Eastern time. Then we're going to have J Money is Money from 5:45 to 6:05 p.m. Eastern time. Then you can catch J Money 55 minutes after that on King's Court. Those guys are handing out winner after winner after winner on King's Court. Shout out to all those guys killing it on that show. Then we'll have Maxwell Smart joining us from 6:05 p.m. Eastern time till 6:35 p.m. Eastern time. Last night when Max was on our show, I tailed after he broke down all 23 games. I picked 7 games to go on. I made a quick move on Auburn after he broke that game down. That was a loser. But then all my next 6 cashed. I went 6-1 rolling with our man Maxwell Smart. So let's get through this quickly. We got a lot of work to do. We got money to make. Christopher Carter, Barry Roselle, my man Ray Booges, Jet Ocho, Gambler 76, Chris Gill, Robert Gilmore, Ty M, Dan Kelly parlaying, Charlotte, Memphis, and Houston, New York. Parlay the same bet. Charlotte, Memphis, Houston, New York. Sorry, I guess I missed the beginning of that because obviously Charlotte, Memphis is playing together. That's been a very interesting line move in that game. Memphis is now the favorite, but we will get to that. Mr. Gokster liking Vancouver money line. Mr. Gokster, can we find out who is in goal in that game? Let me see if I can pull that information out right now because that was a very, very important part of our capping here. Also, I have Beat the Bag on Saturday. The program's out. I'll put a link for the free program. I'll probably just do it on the morning show, but we got the free program. We got the link to the contest, free contest to come in. Just take a look at the horses, make your picks. You can't lose. You can't lose. You can only win in this contest. You can only win. Joy Jack in the house. Jesse Cool Headshot. Rosie in the house. Rosie shouting out Angel Romero for the Aberdeen pick in the morning. How lucky are we that we get to roll with a guy like Angel Romero? Okay, quickly, I'm going to pull up just the goaltending spots here because that was a big question if we were going to jump on this knucklehead situation with the Canucks Hurricanes tonight. So we know that Calvin Pickard will be in goal for the Coyotes. That's a dodgy goalie to have in there making his Coyotes debut. Very questionable stuff. All right, I'm on the Leafs -1.5. I got +145. Phoenix Copley's in goal for the Capitals. I just feel like this is a time where the Leafs need to step up. They have something to fight for, and a lot of teams don't really right now. We got Philip Grubauer, whom I am a little disappointed to see in net going up against Devin Dubnyk. I would much rather not seeing Grubauer's face in there. We got Binnington versus Gibson. I know people are interested in the under 5.5, but it's heavily juiced. And are you going to get defensive accountability and responsibility with a bunch of players who are about to go on vacation, as this is the last slate of games before the All-Star break? Then we have UC Saros up against Marc-Andre Fleury. That's a standoff game. And yes, we do. We have Alex Nedeljkovic expected, but not in. I don't know if any of you guys know if he will be in. Alex Nedeljkovic looks like he's going to be in business there. Lamont Williams says, Jimmy, you sound like a little batter. A little better maybe? I don't know. Oh, wow. Hope he confirmed, though. Amon Jassy saying, hope he confirmed, though. Very, very interesting. Yeah, this is a NHL card in a time of year that I don't want to be messing with. Right before all these guys are going on vacation, who can you trust is the big question. Who can you trust? And I'm not going to add anything here, but I do think that the Hurricanes Canucks is a spot where if I get more information, Coco Bond saying Hurricanes playing their 3rd game in 4 nights, is a spot I might jump on. Low blow champ, liking Montreal, easy. You know, the Coyotes are playing well. I just kind of want to stay away from favorites on a day like today. We've seen all week underdogs cashing, and I just don't want to jump on favorites, and it was a mistake at the end of the late show yesterday jumping on the Islanders. It's just not the right time of year to make those kind of bets. So, in saying all that, we don't want, and Mr. Ghost is saying Van team total over a high line. I can see Pete on that. We're going to have Pete back very soon, and we're excited about having him back. And Brian Watson says, when does the season start again? I believe it's Tuesday. What's going on? So I'm not going to make a move on the Habs, but I may make a move on the Canucks, and I may make a move on the under. Both of those spots. Ninja 13 says, what's a good under game in the NHL? It's just the wrong time of year, Ninja 13. They're all going on vacation as soon as the game's over. So I just don't trust defensive responsibility and accountability. So all that said, I may make a move on the Canucks and the over in this Hurricanes Knuckleheads game. If I make that, I'll tweet it out, but let's not waste time on it because we got money makers on the show today, starting with my man, Walter Trotter, making his live Low Shack in the Bag debut. You've seen him send in videos, but we got him live. Walter Trotter, Trot Lamb, how are you, my guy?
My man, Jimmy, you know, bro, I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good, shaking and baking. Can't complain. Shout out to the LoBagger. Shout out to SBR for having me. Thank you. Appreciate this opportunity, bro.
Oh man, we appreciate having you on, Trot Lamb. Just ever since I got the chance to run with you at IFBC, man, I want to be around you, man. I want to be around your energy. I know we haven't spent a lot of time together, but I got a lot of love for you, man. But this is about making money. Trot Lamb's about making money. What bangers are you on tonight?
Okay, so I know it's been a lot of sharps changing up the plans and going in on Vanderbilt. I'm going to go straight into it. You can knock me down for 68.5 for the over on the first half, and this is the reason why. I like the way Tennessee is being able to facilitate with the boy Jordan. Pick knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. He's been balling. He's been doing this thing. His usage rate is going up. They already average about 43 points a game. The next team they're playing is 47 points a game. There's 33 NBA scouts coming to this game. They're going to show up for this game. This is what they've been waiting for. They're trying to get to the next level. Some of these kids on Tennessee were just 3-star prospects. So let's go ahead and lock in. And then if you give me advantage rebound, which I do feel that the Tennessee has, you might as well just knock me down for the 4.5 at Heritage. Give me the 4.5 half for Tennessee. So lock that one in, bro.
Ooh, so we got a first half over and first half Tennessee. Are you parlaying that?
I'm parlaying that, but I'm taking your advice as well with the Brooklyn Nets, and I like the way D'Lo is rolling. He looked like most improved player of the year right now. Give me D'Lo. I like the Nets. Give me the first half of there as well. I'm not scared if Gordon plays or not. I'm not scared of that. They're going to have Hollis Jefferson coming off the bench. He possibly could be getting more minutes. He hasn't been having good minutes as of late, but he could get more minutes in this game. And you might as well. I like the way we like that. So give me all three of those combined, and I'm also taking those other two straight up.
Wow. Very interesting. First half over. And again, it's a situation where Pinnacle has not left the 70.5. So if you want to go under 70.5 at Pinnacle, because as our man Flipper 13 was saying, sharps are pounding this under. I love the idea of 33 NBA scouts coming to watch this Tennessee team. And I think it's a great breakdown, an interesting angle. 68.5s almost across the board. There are 69s at BetOnline and Tennessee first half. Vandy's a tough place to play. But liking the first half spot with Tennessee Vanderbilt, I think that's very interesting. And also the Nets, I get it, man. I know there's no Dudley, there's no Crab, but this has become a very deep team. A very, very deep team. Ty Clinton says Nets to play. Jeremy Miller saying, hell yeah, love Brooklyn tonight. Cammy Gopher joining us, finally opened up a Twitter account. Nice. So Flipper 13 liking that over. He's got it full game. That's exciting, Walter Trotter. Are you looking at anything else on this card today?
I am looking at a few other things. I haven't made anything yet official. It's been like one of those things that I've been doing a lot of research into this Tennessee Vanderbilt game because I know it's such a high controversial game. Last time Tennessee was number one, they lost to Vanderbilt. That was about in the 07, 08 year. So I know it may be something strange on this game, that's why I just kind of put all my attention towards this game because there's so many different variables to look at. But I'm going to crush a couple more other things later on. I'm sure I'm telling my man Ski on that Hawks play. So, I'm probably going to tell a little bit later on or do a little bit backwards homework.
Walter Trotter, I like it. So let's just go over it again. So, and going over it again, you're making the bet single, but you're also parlaying, and the Nets is included in that parlay?
So, yeah, I have Nets 2.5 at Bookmaker. My parlay is all at Bookmaker. I got 2.5 at the Nets. I have the 68 over for the Tennessee game, and then I also took the -5 for the Tennessee. That's what was available at Bookmaker at the time. So I have Heritage, and I have Bookmaker on the over. So for single bets. So as far as those 4.5, where I think you could get that at Heritage if it hasn't moved yet, but it looks like it hasn't. I don't think. Let me check, but yeah, those are there as well.
I notice you spend a lot of time focusing on first halves. Can you give us a little bit of your ideology behind that?
That's a great question. I mean, a lot of that has to do with I'm kind of like got anxiety a lot of times thinking about the full game. And then in this case, I thought about taking the full game, Tennessee, but the reason why I didn't, because it is a hard place to play and it is a conference game. And Vanderbilt has been losing. And like my man Big Ball say, sometimes the dog ass shines on some days. And in this case, it could. So I'm taking the first half. I think the 33 scouts is going to get the motivation started at least, and that's going to be enough to propel them with the rebounding edge.
Yes, without a doubt. There's some junkyard dogs on that team with the Canadian in the middle and Kyle Alexander. Man, first half over Tennessee. I'm looking forward to spend a little bit more time on this game, and I love hearing your angles. Walter Trotter, we need more of you. We need more of you to pop in and give us your plays, man. This is an open door. Can we get you more on this show?
For sure, brother. It's all love. LoBagger for life. Let's do it, man. I'm with it.
Is there any team in college basketball or NBA moving forward that you see value with, something maybe under the radar?
For NBA, it's kind of tough to say right now. I'm saying that I like the Brooklyn Nets. I already like them. I have a future on them. Shout out to me and Rail. I think we were the only people that liked them before the season started. And I like them. I'm thinking about Memphis. I was literally going to make the play on Memphis today, but I got talked off of that, so I'm not going to make the play. But I kind of like Memphis too. But like my man Ski said too, they've been just shocked. They might be in their feelings, so we kind of got to wait to see how the cookie crumbles on those two.
And you saw the money coming in on the Grizzlies. They are now the favorites against the Hornets. So you were initially liking, because you won't believe this. I've just been a little overwhelmed. Maybe it's my sickness, but yesterday I forgot to put the bet in for the Islanders, so I saved $200 there. Today I was looking. I forgot. I can't believe this, but I went over my bet. I did not put in my Hornets bet. I have not made that. It's official play here. And now I'd get +1.5, but that market move scares me. Why do you think money's coming in on the Grizzlies? What was your angle when you were thinking about making a move on these Grizzlies?
It's because my official thought on the Hornets, they're not really that type of team that could take on this sort of length or this sort of like athleticism, in my opinion. I didn't think they were going to be able to do that type of thing with the Bucks. That was like one of my first picks I gave out on a LoBag with a video. So I didn't think they were going to be able to do that. So I'm not really high on Kemba Walker and the Pips there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really high on them.
Oh, I feel that. They're a dangerous team to trust on the road. So let me ask you this, Walter. I have not made the bet yet, somehow, unbelievably. Would you say I should not make that bet that I was planning on making on the Hornets?
I didn't even check the line movement, bro. So right now, after you telling me all this, my first initial gut is telling you, nah, not to make that bet. Just because I literally was thinking that was going to be my play that I was going to give out today. And but to be honest though, is that your angle? I don't remember your angle on that. So you could have something that's different, but I can't tell you to not to make it. But the line movement would definitely scare me as well if I didn't make that for sure.
Yeah, and Corey Simmons saying Grizzlies opened up -1. They did. So it's actually come full circle. But this morning, it was -1.5 for the Hornets. Very interesting spot here. Trot Lamb, where can we find you on Twitter? Are you doing any more shows this week? And when can we get you back on the LoBag show?
I know I've been talking to Ray a little bit behind the scenes. I'm talking to Ski. You know, we're always trying to do something, but send me on Twitter, Trot Lamb. I'm on there. A lot of people already ask me questions, so just keep going. I ain't have no problems, returning no favors or anything like that.
Trot Lamb, you are a good man, a beloved LoBagger. Please, let's book it. Let's get you to come on again next week. Also, anytime you feel like you're on something that you got a banger, we can just make room for you. That's how much we love you. So anytime you're like, Jimmy, I got these plays I think are going to hit, let me know. We'll pop you on for a quick hit.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for everybody. Appreciate all y'all.
Much love. Walter Trotter making his live debut on LoShack in the Bag. And I can see in my peripheral vision, J Money is money, ready to rock and roll. J Money, how are you, my man?
Oh, what's up, Jimmy? What's up, everybody? LoBag fam. I stay ready to rock, man. I don't care. I can have a bad day the day before, and I'm still going to come back, rocking like cutout stocking, man. Ready to go. What's up, Jimmy? You ready to get it?
I am ready to get it. But you know why? It's because I got guys like you, Trot Lamb and Maxwell Smart on the show. This late show has been very profitable lately. Man, J Money, what are you feeling tonight? What are you looking at?
Man, I'll go ahead and get to this first game, man. I love the Pacers here. I'm sorry. It is a little bit different. You see the line movement. It opened at 2.5 and then shot up to 6. I did get this at -5. I would say if it's 6 at your book right now, which it should be, I would buy down to 5. And I'm also on Pacers money line big. I definitely don't see them losing this game. The Raptors have pretty much owned the Pacers lately. This is a double revenge game for the Pacers in this spot. They lost twice on the road to the Raptors. Now they're coming back to the house. So I absolutely love the Pacers here. If Leonard was in, maybe it'd be a different thing. But like I say, in this spot, the Pacers, they're kind of rolling right now, especially at the house. Even if Leonard was in, I would still take the Pacers. He's out. That makes me love them even more, man. I'm all over the Pacers, and I took the under in this spot. I do think it'll be a defensive game. We know that it's a back-to-back for the Raptors last night. They somewhat struggled with the Kings there without De'Aaron Fox for a second. But like I say, the fact that they are on a back-to-back, got a big game coming up after this one, I don't think they come in as motivated. The Pacers going to be super motivated in this one. No real big injuries for the Pacers. I love the way they play at the house. I'm on the fucking Pacers today, man.
Oh, I feel that, man. I feel that. I was beating myself up on the early show, not getting the 4.5. I got the 5.5 here for the show, and I did bet down. I did pay to get the 5. I did the same thing with the Heat, so I had to take -120. But yes, the Pacers have so much to play for. The Raptors don't really. I just see this. I think the change for me, Pacers got beaten up by the Sixers. They were embarrassed. Thaddeus Young, of all people, stepped up, was a leader in that dressing room, said this is unacceptable. Back-to-back double-digit victories. They've got a lot to play for. I'm on the Pacers as well here, but not everybody. My man Armand Gisani, kind of like the Raps here. Bada boom, took the Raptors plus 200 on the money line. You're getting a nice price. This is a very deep Raptor squad, as Jay Money was saying, that they were having a bit of trouble with the Kings, but their depth seems to rise to the occasion. CJ Miles rolling right now. Very, very exciting stuff. This is going to be a very exciting game. I can't wait to watch it. And it is 6 now, as Rod Lofton is saying. All right, let's keep rolling. Jay Money, what else are you looking at?
Man, I'm looking at this Heat spot, man. I watched this game versus the Mavs last night for the Clippers. And, man, I'm talking about at one point, man, the Clippers missed 15 straight shots, man. I'm not playing. Then they made a few shots and then missed like another 7 or 8. So I saw them. They got in the fourth quarter, they was on a 15-5 run or something. I ended up getting the Mavs at plus 289 for full game when they're down by 5, man. I knew that the Mavs weren't losing the game. The Clippers, they end up falling off. Like I say, they haven't been shooting. I'm on the Heat in this game. I'm on Heat of -5, the money line, and the under. Like I say, man, the Heat can lock up. They coming back to the house off a loss of the Celtics. They pretty much need this win. They already beat the Clippers this year by 23 points, and that was earlier on in the year, pretty much early December. That's when the Clippers were pretty much sitting at the top of the West. I'm on the Heat in this game, man. It's a bad little spot for the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? They on the back-to-back, then they're flying to Miami with no rest. Give me the Heat in this one. A more rested team. They're going to want this one more. I'm all over the Heat in this one, and I like the under as well. The Clippers, they're just they're not playing good right now. If Gallinari was in, it made me mean a big difference for them, but he's not playing tonight. I love the Heat in this spot, man. It's third game in 4 nights on the road, all on the road for the Clippers.
Yeah, no, I love that breakdown. That means the first 2 spots were both on. Red Girl was pushing us towards the under. I knew you bounced that you liked the under as well. With you guys both on the under, I jumped on it in the morning show. I got under 216.5 at -105. I found it quite interesting that I could still get that when I made the bets. I kind of thought that number would go down. I'm also on the Heat -4.5, and I got 5 when I made the bet. 5.5 now if you want it. But the number has gone down a bit. That's nice to see. 215.5's on the board now. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I'm rolling with you. And I remember that game on December 8th. The Heat surprised the Clippers, held them to 8 points in that. I don't know if it was I think it was the fourth quarter, but it was a very impressive spot for the Heat. I know that Spoelstra's having some trouble getting everybody court time, but I like that spot. I like that play. What else you on, Jay?
Oh, man, I got plenty of shit, man. I could stay on all day, Jimmy. I wish I could stay on for the rest of the show, man. It's all good. We'll work something else out, man. But another one I'm on the Nets today, man. This is another one. I put out a parlay on my Twitter, man. I will pull it up right now. I'll get it to you before the end of the show. But if you guys follow me on Twitter, @JMoneyIsMoney, I posted a parlay today, and the Nets money line was in there as well. The Nets are 5-0 ATS against this Mets team. I was on the Magic the other day in Orlando when the Nets came all the way back and won game. I'm talking about the Magic were up by 13 at the half and up by 17 points at one point in that game, and the Nets just came all the way back and ended up winning the game by 2 points, man. So, I mean, you would think that the Magic would be a little bit pissed here. This is a revenge game, but I'm all over the Nets here, man. I'm sorry. The Nets are absolutely rolling right now. D'Angelo Russell is absolutely balling right now. I'm not stepping in front of them, especially at the house. The Magic could come in and, like I say, be pissed off and make it a close game, but I just think that the Nets will pull this one out and be too much for them. The Nets have absolutely been killing it in the third quarter. So even if they are down in the first half, I'm going to slam them second half, and I definitely don't see them losing this game.
I love it. I love it. We're on the same page here. That's a good place to be. You've seen D'Angelo step back threes lately. The guy is playing good basketball. Well, this is perfect because I'd like to hammer some questions at you right now then if I could. First off, there's some very interesting games, but I couldn't believe that I didn't make the Hornets bet earlier. I still think maybe, I mean, obviously, if I take them on the money line now, I'm getting much more value than I would have in the morning. You have any lean or feel in this Hornets-Grizzlies game?
You're damn right, Jimmy. I got a leaner feel for every one of these games, man. You can ask all the questions you want to, man. The whole thing why everyone was on the Hornets in this game because Conley and Gasol were being chopped. You know what I'm saying? That's not the case. It looks like both of them are going to play. Gasol is still questionable, but if anything, I feel like they're still going to play, and that's why you see the line moving back to Memphis. Now Memphis is the favorite again. I feel like they're going to want to try to show out for whatever team that they are going to play for. We know the Grizzlies try to come out and say, oh, no, we weren't trying to trade them. I mean, we know damn well, man, both of them will probably be traded here pretty soon, if not one for a fact. They're going to have to show up for another team. It's kind of a win-lose because you don't want to get hurt, but you also have to show other teams that you can play. And, you know what I'm saying, show a playoff contender that they wanted to give pieces to the Grizzlies for that. So that's why I'm pretty sure that they are going to throw both of them out there tonight. That doesn't mean that the Grizzlies are going to win. We know they hadn't been able to score at all, and that's why I would lean to the under. If anything, I didn't make a bet on the game, but if I did, I would have to take the under because the Grizzlies have just been terrible. I mean, they just played the Pelicans, who are just absolutely terrible defensive team, and they didn't have Anthony Davis. And I thought the Grizzlies were going to win that game, and they just barely even scored any fucking points, man. They scored like 85 points against the Pelicans, man. So, I mean, I don't see how you don't put up at least 90, 95 points in today's NBA. The Grizzlies are struggling right now, but just like Wham says, the Hornets aren't a really good team on the road at all. I'm not willing to back the Hornets. I wouldn't be so quick to go and run to bet them in this game because the Grizzlies still do have a nice defense. They can still beat certain teams out there, and I can say they do match up kind of well versus the Hornets. The Hornets are the better team, but in this spot, we know the Grizzlies are going to be wanting to grind out a win here, and they do play really good defense. I'm a defensive guy. I think defense wins championships. If you play good defense, you can be in any game, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the Grizzlies win this game.
Oh, wow. Interesting breakdown. I love it. Just a quick shout out to my man Angel Romero. Gave us Aberdeen in the morning. That was a catcher. Said, yo, Jimmy, 2 plays for the night. Argentinian Soccer League, River Plate, money line, -180. That's at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So that goes off shortly. And from Copa, Mexico, we have Monarcas Morelia, money line at -170. -180, -170. When the Angels on these games, follow, parlay them, do whatever you got to do to get that cash. Shout out to Angel Romero. Well, Jay, I didn't get enough time to bang out some of these late games. Ike Johnson saying, I love Hornets. Ryan Cola says, what's his Twitter? It is at JMoneyIsMoney. At JMoneyIsMoney. We'll get that written out before he leaves us. Okay, first off, let's talk Pistons, Pelicans. Pelicans coming off that impressive 105-85 win that you were just speaking about at Memphis. Davis still out with that sprained index finger. I was surprised to see Jahlil Okafor make a very impressive performance, 20 and 10, made 9 of 11 shots in 35 minutes, kept Mirotic on the bench. That was a very interesting move by Gentry that clearly worked out. Pistons look bad. Andre Drummond still in concussion protocol. The game where they put up 87 points against Washington, it was Griffin with 29, and then only Reggie Bullock with 12. What are you thinking here, Pistons at Pelicans?
Right, yeah. On this one, the whole thing is Drummond went through a shoot-around, so that kind of gets me to thinking I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see if he ended up playing. I know that technically he's still in protocol, but if he went through shoot-around, they're reporting that that's pretty much showing that he damn near could play. This is technically a revenge game for the Pistons. I'm not one to back the Hornets, back the Pelicans this quick. Especially with Anthony Davis. Like I say, I thought that the Grizzlies were going to pull out their win, but the Grizzlies just can't score. That's why the Pelicans won that game. I don't know. I'm just so hesitant to bet on them without Anthony Davis. They can still win. They do have pieces. They are at the house. But I don't know. I have to wait to see if Drummond does play, which I still think that there's a possible chance. If Drummond plays, I'm going to be on the Pistons here. But without him, it's a stay-away game for me. But if Drummond plays, I would be on Pistons money line.
Yeah, I was looking that up while you were talking. It does look like, they're not announcing that he'll play, but it does look like Drummond will be in the lineup. And that really does change things drastically. What time does this game go off on? Doesn't go off. Okay, good. So we have a little bit of time. Wow. Thanks for the heads up about Drummond there. Also, Nuggets at Jazz. Another spot we didn't have enough time to talk about on the early show. Denver just gets destroyed by this team over and over and over again. Can Jokic and Jamal Murray send a message to this Utah team that just had its season-best 6-game winning streak snapped on Monday in that 109-104 loss against the Blazers? Donovan Mitchell looks good. He especially looks good with Rubio at the point so that he can play off the ball. What are you thinking, Nuggets at Jazz?
Initially, Jimmy, I was thinking the Nuggets. I actually like the Nuggets a better team versus the Jazz. The whole thing is the Nuggets are on the road. They're not necessarily the same team on the road. They're still a good team, but you have one of these games where you have a not so good team that's on the road or not as good against a team that's really good at home, coming off a tough home loss in the game which they were in down to the wire. I was on the Blazers. I'm glad they cashed the money line, but I wouldn't have been a bit surprised to see the Jazz win that game. The Jazz have been rolling. And in this series, the home team has won the last 9 games, man. You have to take that into consideration. You have to. It's pretty much like the home team has just dominated this series pretty much. And we know that the Denver has won the last 3. They won by 15 earlier this year. You give me the Jazz, man, coming off a loss at the house. I did take Jazz on the money line, but I would say all the way up to -3. If you get them at -4, maybe by the point down, it could possibly be a close game, but I really do think that the Jazz will pull this game out, and it is a revenge game. They got Rubio back. We saw them. They like I say, but they've been balling, man. This is a revenge game, and I'm also on the under in this game. The last 6 games between these two have went under. I absolutely love the under in this game as well, but I would also take the Jazz on the money line.
Wow, a lot of people liking that under spot. Hoops 590 is the only one who's liking Nuggets plus 3.5. Dave LA liking the Jazz. My man Raul Portwando liking the Jazz. But there's King Rail. My man King Rail saying Nuggets win. Oh, that's exciting. I know you guys are going to have fun talking about that on King's Court. Very, very interesting stuff. Well, let's talk about another game that is quite perplexing, and let's see what the movement's been on it. Rockets at Knicks. Expecting Gordon not to be in the lineup. Let's get a quick look and see if that is the case. Is Gordon going to be in the lineup? We don't think he will be. and we don't know at this time. Rockets at Knicks. Opened at 6.5 at Bet Online. You could have got them at 7 this morning on our morning show, or 7.5. Now it's 8, and even 8.5's on the board. You have a play on Rockets Knicks?
Yes, I do have a play, and this was another play that was on the money line parlay. I see no way that the Rockets lose this game. If you look at the Rockets' last 10 games, I'm not kidding you at all. It's been win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. It's exactly how it's been. We know that they just got their ass handed to them in Philly by damn near 30 points. They're coming off their loss, headed to New York. You know what I'm saying? They've covered 14 of the last 17 in Madison Square Garden, or one straight up. I'm sorry, but I see Harden going off tonight. I'm sorry, and I don't see them losing back to back. They hadn't lost back to back, and it seems like forever. I know a lot of people like the Knicks plus the points. I did take the Rockets at -7, but I definitely see no way in hell that they lose this game. But they should cover the 7 as well. It has been bid up to 8. I'm seeing people on the under. I'm not sure. I don't really like the total in this game. We see that the Knicks, that they can't give up a ton of points, but they also struggle to score as well. So if we see Harden out there slowing the pace down, then it would go under. But if the Rockets get to hitting their threes, the Knicks with Moutier and some of those rookies out there, they can also score some points as well. So the total, I'm a little bit split between, but I definitely like the Rockets in this spot.
Very interesting. The chat with you. Also, Joey Wynn letting you know that Gordon is in. Says Gordon is in, Jimmy. Bruce Ean, a.k.a. Mutt Beast, says Rockets will win by 20. Barry Roselle saying Gordon not on the injury report. Steve Priest says 13 in a row guy has Rockets tonight. Vancouver Brooks joining us. Says Houston rolling. D Dragon says I got Rockets -7. I wonder what Goong Goong has to say. My man Dragon Boy, I know you're watching. What's Goong Goong's time machine say? Goong Goong's time machine is being hot right now. Please let us know, Dragon Boy. Let's keep rolling right along. That is, I guess, at this point, I've not added any plays, but God, I find a lot of these very, very appealing. Cream of Wheat Jones says Rockets win easy. Shout out to Cream of Wheat Jones joining us. Okay, here's another very interesting spot, and I guess we have to take a quick look at the injury report first. I'll do that while we talk about it. Spurs at Sixers. 76ers beat up on these Rockets badly on Monday. Embiid kept his MVP caliber year rolling with 32, 14, and 3 block shots. Shamet and Redick both had big games. We know Jimmy Butler is not going to be in the lineup. You have a feel for this Spurs-Sixers spot?
Yes, I do have a feel for it, and I did take a small shot with the Spurs on the money line just for once I saw that Butler was out. Here was the whole thing: if Philly at full go, I would like them in this spot, especially saying that it's a revenge game. But you got the Spurs that just came off that terrible loss, man. I'm talking about they were favored by 9.5 at home, man, against the Clippers. So you know what I'm saying? When you see that, and the Clippers just came out and just smacked them right in the mouth. I'm talking about from the get-go, they were just on the Spurs' ass. The Spurs weren't ready. They obviously looked at the Clippers with their injuries and thought it was going to be an easy win. No way, Jose. They came in there and kicked their ass pretty much. This is the next game after that. They've had 2 days to let that brew, pretty much 3 now. Today, I think they're going to go up there in Philly and get this win. If they had Butler in there, and then we know that Embiid and Simmons is questionable as well. So still, Simmons dealing with a little illness. If he does play, I don't think he'll be 100%. We know they like to run and gun. He should get winded pretty quick if he does play. Something tells me that the Spurs bounce back in this spot.
Seems like a bounce back spot for them. I have a couple times in the last month thought Embiid was sick or hurt and bet against the Sixers and taking it right in the bottom mouth. I'm very hesitant to do it here, but I can understand why you would like San Antonio to bounce back here. This total's gone from 226 to 224.5. You got any feel for this over-under? I guess it's impossible without understanding who's going to be in the lineup to try to predict pace.
Exactly. Yeah, and I would like to take the under in this game, but Butler being in, it's like Butler being out. It hurts because the defense isn't out there, but you also have to take his scoring out as well. And then, like you say, we just need to know about Embiid and Simmons lately. Both of them are questionable. It doesn't. I see people in the chat saying illness or all. It don't matter. They're questionable. We need to know if they're playing or not, man. That's the whole thing before I touch the total. Obviously, if Simmons is out, I would definitely take the under in this game. He's the main one that pushes the pace and is their main facilitator. So if Simmons doesn't play, definitely put me down for the under in this game.
What absolutely great breakdowns. Thank you so much for joining us, J Money. You are an enormous asset to the LoBag family. And you can catch J Money in 54 minutes on King's Court with King Rail. Where can we find you on Twitter, and what else you got going on?
Yeah, y'all can find me on Twitter, man, at JAY. Money is money, man. And like Jimmy say, we finna be on King's Court. Me and King Rail, two of the best that's in it, man. Me and Rail getting together, y'all got to watch, man. I see 600 people watching this show. Come on, y'all can tune in to us too, man. No, it's just our NBA. I'll give out some college basketball picks on the show too, man. So y'all come holler at us, man. Y'all go follow me on Twitter. Y'all hit the like button, all that, man. I'll be back next Wednesday, hopefully before that.
You're at Class Act, J Money. Thank you so much for joining us. And I see Maxwell Smart up on the screen. We got to get to Max right now. We have a huge college basketball card to break down. And Max, you were straight fire yesterday. My God, was I wrong. And thank God, I lost $600 in NHL, and I got $364 back rolling with you. And it would actually be more than that, because I lost on a Pittsburgh play that you had nothing to do with. So really, I got $464, I guess, something about that, back from you. So Maxwell Smart joining us on this Wednesday. How you doing, Max?
Well, I'm doing good because you did well on the picks that you bet of mine last night. And as I tell you in our DMs, I sleep better when you make money on my picks. Regardless if I make money, regardless if I get to go to the strip club, I just want Jimmy the Bag to make money on Maxwell Smart's picks.
Well, it happened last night. Let's get it happening again. We got a game popping off in 23 minutes. Providence at Xavier. Xavier opens as 5-point favorites, being bet down to 3.5. Total's gone from 142 to 139.5. What are you thinking here, Max?
Yeah, I'm not going to have a play on this game, but I'm going to have to lean with Xavier in this matchup. I think that Providence is lacking the scoring depth right now, and I think that Xavier is actually going to start to put things a little more together than we've actually been seeing. I don't think that we're going to have another Butler game, but I think it will be close throughout. And if I have to make a play, this is the way that I'd probably do it. I'd probably take Providence on the first half and Xavier full game, and I'd probably go with the over. I think that there's going to get some points that are going to get scored, and I think if it comes down to free throws, both teams will foul till the last 10 seconds.
Wow, interesting breakdown. Our boy Giancarlo saying that Nene just got ruled out for the Rockets. Fareed starting for him. Thank you for letting us know that, Giancarlo. All right, Providence Xavier in the books. We got a ton of 7 o'clock games, so let's just start hammering through them, Max. I hope you've taken a look at them all, because we're going to hammer. The way you broke down all 23 games yesterday was spectacular, Max. All right, let's start. Purdue at Ohio State. Purdue, very lukewarm favorites, 1 or 1.5. The total's almost stayed exactly where it opened. 141.5, 140. What are you thinking, Purdue, Ohio State?
Yeah, I got to go with Ohio State on this one. It's not going to be a play on my board, but I've definitely looked into this game, and I've compared different cappers that are on different sides. And I think that home court, I think the Weston brothers are going to be able to exploit Purdue and their lack of front court. Carson Edwards is a lovely player to watch. I just think that tonight in this game, Luther Mohammed and the other Ohio State guards are going to play well enough to win this game.
Interesting, but you're not making a move on it.
No, I'm definitely not.
Ohio State burnt me last time. I have no reason to go back to them. Let's keep rolling. The Bonnies at Massachusetts. Massachusetts opened as a 4.5-point favorite. Now 2.5s and 3s on the board. Total open at 136.5. Now 134 is between 134.5 and 135.5. Any feel on this spot?
Well, I'm definitely going to I'm a smart guy. That's why I'm called Maxwell Smart. And I'm going to tail Noli Nose on his under in this game. And as far as the side, I think that I'm going to take a risk tonight. I think that I'm going to take the same Bonnies on the money line. I think that Courtney Stockard can light it up. I think that Ladarian Griffin has really taken over the second scoring piece for them. And I think that UMass is on a 7-game losing streak. I've tried to go back to them, but I just haven't been able to do it. I think that they do have some advantages in this game, but I think that in the end, I need to see UMass win a game, and I need to see them win a game at home before I end up putting any more money on them.
I like that breakdown. Do you think that the reason the markets move towards the Bonnies is just because of the losing streak, not necessarily because of a skill advantage for the Bonnies?
I definitely think that they've been playing the better teams in the A10 compared to the Bonnies, but the Bonnies are eventually going to have to put it together. They do have some injuries, but I think that I don't think that Jalen Poyser being out is going to be that big of a deal because Ladarian Griffin has really taken over his slot as the potential second scorer, and a lot of expectations were had about him, and he hasn't met them. So I think that they're going to be better off. I'm not going to say, actually, I'll take that back. I'm not going to say they're better off. I'm just going to say that they're going to be able to have other guys step up with the void to fill, and I think that there's a good chance that they can pull a slight underdog win as a 3-point dog tonight.
And you are going to take the points? You think the points are necessary? You're not going to go for the score on the money line?
Oh, well, I bet the spread right now, but I'm not opposed to dropping a little on the money line once I see the game play 3 or 4 minutes in.
Very, very interesting breakdown. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. First off, when my man Noli knows who's making unders great again is on a total and the market moves with it, I move with it too. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm taking the St. Bonaventure, Massachusetts under 135.5 at minus 115. That's available at Bookmaker. I'm also going to take the Bonnies on the money line. I'm getting plus 140 at Bookmaker right now. I'm going to see if I can do better than that while I'm seeing, what do you think of this LaSalle Fordham spot? We'll talk a little bit about it. I'm going to take a look at the if I can do better than plus 140, but what are you thinking, LaSalle Fordham?
Yeah, LaSalle's a really hard team to get behind any time that they're playing. You would think that a team with a guy like Pookie Powell would be a lot more explosive offensively, but the fact is he's a ball hog, and it's really going to come down to the other guys. So Jack Clark, who's a really nice player for LaSalle, he's questionable tonight. I wasn't able to get enough information because of the show and because of the amount of games I was researching. So I don't know if he's playing. Maybe one of the LoBaggers can help us out on that. But I don't think it's going to really matter. I think that Nick Honor and I think that Antoine Portley are going to be able to finally get Fordham a win at home. I think that 2.5 is a good enough number. I think that they play good enough defense to frustrate LaSalle and get LaSalle into taking bad shots and not using their shot selection basketball IQ. So I'll just make it simple. I'm taking Fordham minus 2.5 tonight.
Fordham minus 2.5. It is a play back by our man Mally Mal, but not Dave L.A. Dave L.A. says LaSalle, baby. M. Holland says, I took Bonnie under 2. I messaged Max on that pick earlier. Great breakdowns. Let's keep rolling, Maxie. George Washington at Davidson. Davidson, huge favorite. Opened at 16, down to 15. The total's being bet up from 131.5 to 135.5 or even 136. What are you thinking, George Washington at Davidson?
Yeah, this is a really interesting game because it has a lot of factors that we're not going to know until the game actually gets played. Both these teams play with very limited depth and short benches, and I think that if anybody on Davidson gets into foul trouble, they're in trouble because George Washington's the gritty type of team that is going to drive at you. They're not going to just settle for jump shots if they're not dropping and just keep on dropping them. It is good that Kellen Grady is back for Davidson. They do have the potential to win this game by double digits, but at 15 points, I'm not going to be biting on that. I'll be taking George Washington plus 15. I think that Davidson does have the offense to win this game by double digits. As I just said, they do have some other pieces that I'm not going to name right now, but I just think that this is too many points against the George Washington team, who has been very good against the spread and very good in this road underdog situation.
Sure, understandable. Shout out to our man Flipper13, said I played the over in George Washington game. He destroyed that market move, got it at 131.5. Have to settle at 136 at most of these spots. And Ron Crawford letting us know that Clark is out. Okay, let's keep moving. Richmond at St. Joseph's, Pennsylvania. Richmond at St. Joe's, and St. Joseph's opened as a 5-point favorite. Now you can get 4 at BetOnline or 3.5 basically across the board. The totals moved down a little bit from 143 to 140.5. What are you thinking here, Max?
Well, you're playing this game one of two ways. You're either playing this game in the mindset that St. Joe's is going to rebound and they're going to have a much better game offensively because they're not going up against St. Louis's defense, who did hold them to a 20-0 run at one point in the second half, if I'm not mistaken. That's embarrassing. When you play that kind of dominant defense in your next game, it's probably such a relief to play a team like Richmond, who's going to allow you to shoot 44 to 48% from the field, get to the line a whole bunch, and they're not going to play with the same kind of intensity and freaking shutdown style that St. Louis does. So because of that, I'm going to want to take St. Joe's tonight. I think that Charlie Brown Jr. is going to be able to get off. He's not going to have a 1-for-11 shooting game. And I think that the two X factors for this team is obviously a Canadian, because I'm biased, Anthony Longpre, even though he's a Quebecer. I think that his junkyard style, his defense, and his rebounding could be very useful. He didn't get a lot of minutes in the game against St. Louis. I think that tonight this is a better matchup suited to his skill. And I think that Jared Bynum, as a point guard, is going to have a lot easier time facilitating the offense. And I look for him to have a good game, whether that be collecting assists, not turning the ball over, and taking shots when he has them. So give me St. Joe's minus 3.5.
Wow, Max on St. Joe's. Jay Money says, I love St. Joe's tonight. Mally Mal, St. Joe's. Very interesting stuff. All you guys on the same page. Seems like a page that you want to be on. Let's talk about this rivalry spot, Texas at TCU. Very interesting line movement. Opens TCU -5 on the morning show, down to -1.5. Now back up to -2.5 or -3. Total opens up at 141, goes down to 137. What are you feeling here, Max?
Well, this line just shows you the power of Texas. Things are big in Texas, and there's always big line movement. But what we've seen this afternoon, that this one is U-line movement. And I'm going to be on TCU. I like TCU. I like them at home. I think that they're better coached. I'm not a Shaka Smart guy. I don't think that Jalen Fisher leaving the team is that big of a blow, because they haven't played with him a lot the last 2 years. And I think that now there's going to be some minutes open for some other guys, an opportunity that brews competition. And I think that that can't be bad for practicing in TCU's arena. And I think that tonight against Texas in a rivalry, in-state rivalry, I think that they're just going to show the different class. I think that Jamie Dixon's going to outcoach Shaka Smart. I think that when it comes down to late game management, I think that TCU is going to take better care of the ball. I trust Alex Robinson more. And the only thing that I'm worried about is this game coming down to free throws. If it comes down to free throws, I worry about TCU, but it's not going to pull me off of it. So I'm confidently taking TCU -2 or -2.5, whatever you can get at -110.
A lot of people agreeing with that, Max. First off, Dave LA saying, I agree, TCU, let's go, Maxwell. Stantino liking TCU and the under. And Dave LA says, what about the under, Maxwell? What are you thinking about the total in this Texas TCU spot? Market move towards the under.
Yeah, this is a hard spot for me to even predict a total, because if TCU gets hot from 3, this could be a 75-80 point half. as far as today goes, I've really focused more on sides. So as far as totals, all you're really going to be getting is like a one off the top of the head I have and what I can remember with my eye tests. And keep in mind, I'm a 420 friendly guy.
Okay, Maxie. Valpo, Indiana State. Indiana State opens as 2.5-point favorites. It stays there. Total opens up at 136. It goes down a point or a point and a half. What are you thinking? You have got a great read on Valpo so far this year.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is where my biases can sometimes bite me in the ass and serve me a cold bowl of cock soup. Valparaiso needs Ryan Fazekas back. He's missed the last 3 games. They've been able to right the ship and be able to get through without him. I think that they need him in this kind of matchup tonight versus Indiana State. Jordan Barnes had a bad game. Tyreek Key had a good game. They need both of those guys to be on in order to win. I think that Indiana State is very dangerous tonight. But because of my biases and because I saw Bakari Evelyn actually have a good shooting game coming off the bench when Dion Lavender was in foul trouble and not on the floor to really be the floor general, I think that Valpo can go in and win this game tonight. I'm not going to stop back in Valpo. I love the 7-footer Derek Smits, and he's coming off a really good game. My biggest issue with Smits is he had 5 turnovers. And he can't have 5 turnovers against Indiana State because those will be fast breaks, layups, and possible and-one situations, and that could decide the game. So I'm going to be going with Valparaiso plus 2.5 or plus 3, whatever I can get at minus 110.
I hear that. You've had a great read on Valpo. Why not continuing going? Yes, we will get to Stephen F. Austin at some point here. I promise you. Let's just keep rolling down the 7 o'clock games and then make some choices of the late games we want him to bang out. George Mason at Dayton, another spot where the line has not moved. The total, Dayton being 8-point favorites. George Mason with the total has gone up 2 or 2.5 points. You got a feel here?
Yeah, definitely. I watch a lot of George Mason. I like George Mason. I think that they have a major flaw in this matchup, and that's size. They have no size to deal with Josh Cunningham and Obi Toppin. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens tonight. I've seen that the line has really moved in Dayton's favor by 2.5 points. I think that bodes well for my George Mason bet because I'm going to be going with George Mason again. Like I said, I like to ride teams that can win on the road. I like to ride teams that cover for me as underdogs. And I think that if you give me 8.5 or 9 points, I think that it should be enough to stay within the number. So what I'm liking about George Mason right now is how they played in conference play. Their free throw percentage has gone up. Their forward depth is obviously going to be the issue, but they've won games versus teams like this. They've won games versus teams with size. I think that this is going to be a bit different because Josh Cunningham is extremely dangerous, but I'm going to have to go with the guard play of George Mason, and I'm going to go under the assumption and hope that they don't make an ass out of you and me, that they can hit 3-point shots early and consistently through this game. So give me the road dog. Give me plus 8.5, plus 9, whatever you can get at minus 110 tonight.
Wow, backing George Mason at plus 8. Very interesting spot. Now we come to VCU, Virginia Commonwealth, up against Rhode Island. Rhode Island opens as 1-point favorites. It's pretty much still there. You get 1.5, you can get 2. Total opened at 131.5, being bet up to 135.5 or 136. VCU, Rhode Island. What are you liking here?
Yeah, so this is the major difference between VCU and Rhode Island. Rhode Island has the perception that they're a defensive team. I don't really feel that way. I feel that they're more they would speed themselves up. They just don't have the roster personnel to do so. Fats Russell don't take 3-point shots. Jeff Dowden hope that the game doesn't come down to the last minute and then he dribbles too much and ends up turning the ball over. The most consistent player on this team is what's his name? Landrevine. I'm obviously mispronouncing it, but we all know it's the power forward who is good for a double-double and is definitely the leader on the floor. He's definitely the most vocal. You can watch Rhode Island games and see that. I will be taking VCU tonight, all regardless of what I just said, because like I said, VCU plays better defense. What I didn't say, excuse me. Sorry, hold on 1 second.
Don't worry, Maxie.
VCU plays better defense. They're better at the free throw line. And I think that the level of competition that they've played, they've shown that if they can stop Fats Russell and Jeff Dowden on the perimeter, VCU can end up scoring just enough to cover the spread and win this game outright. So I'm going to go brazen. I'm going to take VCU on the money line, and I'm going to take VCU on the spread because I believe in VCU's defense. Even though they've had difficulty on the road, I think that the level of competition that they played this year, even in the non-conference, has prepared them for this game, and I'm going with VCU. So, yeah, I'm done on that.
Max backing VCU. It's totally natural to slip up a couple times when there's 350 schools, Max. Illinois State at Bradley. Pretty much a pick 'em. It's been going back and forth. Some books have Illinois State as favorite, some have Bradley. The total has gone down a few points. Do you have any feel here, Illinois State, Bradley?
Yeah, so I watch a lot of Bradley Braves basketball, and what I've been doing and happening this season is fading them at home. They are 1-8 ATS at home. They did have a come from behind underdog plus 6 or 7 point cash over Southern Illinois, but that was on the road. I think that Illinois State is one of the top teams in the Missouri Valley Conference. I think that Zach Copeland and Josh Jefferson have actually really pushed Keyshawn Evans down the depth chart. And I think that in this game specifically, Phil Fain is going to be very important. He's going to have the size and the natural low post game that no one on Bradley really can deal with. Luke Van Bree and Koch Barr are not getting enough consistent minutes. They're not implementing them into their offense. They're just using them as a really shitty attempt at rim protectors. So I'm going to have to be going with Illinois State tonight. It also helps that Sean Williams is on it. And if you don't know who Sean Williams are, you should follow him on Twitter. You should tail his picks. The guy knows how to pick college basketball games. And I think that Illinois State should win this game by 10 points tonight. So I'm confidently taking Illinois State on this short line.
Wow, I've heard enough there. Sean Williams in the chat joining us. Both you guys on Illinois State. I'm sold. Let's go to a big boy match. Number 1 ranked Tennessee at Vanderbilt. We heard our man Walter Trotter on the early show. Trot Lamb liked the first half over and Tennessee first half. What do you think of Trot Lamb's plays, and what are you thinking of doing here?
I definitely support the total plays, and I like the first half play also. I think that Tennessee had an off game against Alabama. Grant Williams was in foul trouble, and Schofield just had a bad shooting game. I think that Jordan Bone's going to be really important in this game. He is obviously their point guard, and when he's playing really well and he's playing stable and facilitating, I think that they're even better. If this team gets hot from 3, how is Vanderbilt going to stop them? They do not have freaking Darius Garland. I will keep on pointing that out. Darius Garland is a difference maker. I don't know why the line has moved from 11.5 to 8.5, but I don't really care. I'll take Tennessee. I don't care that they're the number 1 team and that there's a bad record for number 1 teams and then playing Vandy for Tennessee. I'm going to discount all that. I'm going to take some guys that do a lot of work in the gym. They're strong. You're not going to push them off the ball. They're confident in themselves. They're confident in their team chemistry. And they have all the positions backed up. This is a very close to complete team, and the perseverance of the team to strive through and come back and actually beat Alabama, I respect that. And I think that they're going to have a lot easier time tonight versus Vanderbilt because like we saw against Ole Miss, Alabama is no pushover right now and made me freaking slurp cock soup. Double time on that game.
Double time cock soup slurping, never good. Single time, terrible, but double time, oh God. Georgia at LSU. Yes, DJ Big Boss. So we have some questions coming in, but let's just get through these 7 o'clock games quickly. We're almost done. And then we have the small schools. Maybe you like a couple spots on the small schools, but with the big schools, we have Georgia at LSU. LSU opens at 11.5 point favorites. Now down to 10.5 at Pinnacle, 11 across the board. Total stuck at 152. What do you feel here?
Yeah, how's Georgia going to deal with LSU's size? You're talking about Emmett Williams, Naz Reid, Cavell Bigby Williams. These are guys with some size, athleticism, and they know how to play together. LSU is getting better and better every game. We're seeing that. LSU is going to decide if they want to cover the spread tonight. That's the major question. I think they're going to. I think that this game resembles a situation where Georgia played Kentucky. I think that Tremont Waters is actually coming onto his own, and I really like Marlon Taylor. I like his aggressiveness. I like his leaping ability. He's good for a good dunk, and I think that Emmett Williams is very undervalued. I think that this is a very talented team. I think that they like playing together. I think that they're getting more comfortable together, and I think that they're going to win this game by 15 to 20 points tonight.
Wow, backing them for 15 to 20. Max big on LSU. Florida International, Florida Atlantic. Open with Atlantic as minus 2-point favorites. It's a pick 'em at some books. It's definitely been bet down across the board. The total's stuck pretty much around 160, 161. You have any feel here?
Yeah, I always have a feel in every game. But for FAU, no Jalen Ingram. So I don't want any part of them. I like FIU to actually slow the pace down tonight versus this FAU team. I don't think that they're going to be as high scoring as they have been non-conference and early conference. I think that when you got a point guard like Brian Beard, who is going to get you steals, who's going to take good shots, who's going to get to the free throw line, and he's going to make close to 80% of his free throws. That's the kind of guy that you really want to back. I think that this team in this rivalry matchup should have the advantage, and I'm not going to think too hard about it. I'm going to go with what I've watched of FIU, and I'm going to back them tonight against FAU.
Very, very interesting. You like what you see from FIU. You're going to back them against FAU. That makes sense to me. That makes a lot of sense to me. I might jump on there. But first, let's go over some of these small schools banging out at 7 o'clock. The one question that was asked of me to ask you was about Vermont. You've had such a good read on Vermont this year. You put money in our pockets with Vermont. They're up against UMBC. Vermont, 15.5-point favorites. Opened as 14-point favorites. Now 14.5 to 15.5. Total from 126 to 130. You like Vermont here?
Okay, so you know what I love about Vermont? Vermont can win when Anthony Lamb has a bad shooting game because they got a family of brothers called the Duncan brothers. And these guys, they can step up when Anthony Lamb is off his game. And that's what happened in their last game. And they ended up beating Binghamton by 28. Now they're home against New Hampshire. I think that New Hampshire's a really gritty team. I got no beef with New Hampshire. New Hampshire has done some good things on the spread. But I gotta go with what makes me money, and that's Vermont. Vermont is a great road team. They're a great home team. I think that, are they even playing? Sorry, they're not even playing,
New Hampshire.
What's it called? They're not playing New Hampshire, are they?
No, they're playing UMBC.
Okay, they're playing UMBC. Excuse me. See, I screw up also all the time.
No worries, Max. There's so many games. It's very easy to get overwhelmed. Don't worry for a second. Let's keep hammering this card, my man.
Yeah, no. So UMBC, the problem for me is KJ Jackson. I don't think that offensively that this team is anywhere close to the team that beat Virginia. So I'm not going to fall in love with trying to find spots that they're going to be able to cover numbers. I think that Vermont offensively at the free throw line, if the 3-point shot is dropping, and if they're shooting over 50% from the field, are going to easily cover this number. They're going to want to beat UMBC tonight because UMBC is a brand name now amongst college basketball fans and bettors. So I think that this is a perfect opportunity for Anthony Lamb to have a rebound game, and I think that if Joe Sherburne doesn't get to the line and exploit them with his 90+% free throw percentage, I think that they can easily cover this game. I think that easily cover this number, and like usual, I'm going to probably take Vermont first half full game with confidence.
Vermont, first half, full game with confidence. I did jump with Max on FIU on the money line at plus 103, and I got Illinois State on the money line at minus 104. Max, let's keep rolling. We've had some questions come in about Marquette and about Nevada. DePaul, let's start with DePaul at Marquette. Open as 11-point favorites. Marquette now down to 8.5. You got a feel on DePaul Marquette?
Yeah, I'm not going to be betting on this game just yet. I'm going to take my time and think about it a lot more. But initially, I have to go with Marquette. I think that Marcus Howard is going to play tonight. I think that the back injury is going to be good enough. I think that with the three-point shooting between him and the Hauser brothers and Sakir Amin, I think that they're good enough to win this game tonight. I think that if they get to the free throw line and if they need a big second half, I will definitely be even more confident because like we've seen with Marquette over and over again, they sometimes can have a very slow first half, but they love to turn it on in the second half at home. We've seen Marcus Howard do that with his 50-point games. So DePaul is improved. Max Strus is a great player. He has a great name because his name is Max. But I think tonight Marcus Howard and the Hauser brothers are the spot to play. It's not a guaranteed pick for me right now. It is only a lean at this point. But right now, I shouldn't go against Marquette. I shouldn't go against him at home. I shouldn't doubt Marcus Howard because he's a 40-plus point scorer, and guys like that, you want to bet on.
I hear that. A lot of questions coming in. One about another small school that gets off in 24 minutes, and it's from our man Glenn Elliott. Man, he says, Jimmy, please ask Max about Stony Brook. Looks like low-hanging fruit. Opened at -4, up to -5.5 or -6. They're at Albany. Stony Brook at Albany.
So this is a really interesting game. Obviously, Stony Brook is 16-3, very nice record. They're 9-1 as a road team. They're 10-2 ATS on the road. They got Akawasi Yeboah, who's a great Brit. He's averaging 17 points, 7 rebounds, shooting 78% from the free throw line. I think that this is a very sketchy game for Stony Brook tonight. I think that the line has moved up considerably. I actually thought that I saw it open up at 3 or 4 overnight. I could be wrong about that, but the key to beating Albany is stopping them from taking three-point shots. Stony Brook needs to shoot the three-point shot better than 26%. They need to get to the rim. They need to get to the line. They got to win on the offensive glass. This is a team that if they get 10 offensive rebounds, they can put Albany down. But the issue with Albany, and I'll say this over and over again, is Ahmad Clark and Cameron Healy's three-point efficiency. If these guys get hot from three, they will stay in the game till the last minute. And they're good free throw shooters. So what is the formula to beat this team? Get these 1 or 2 of these guys into foul trouble. Don't put them on the line, and allow your guys to really put a freaking beating on a team that on paper they should, and in the standings and for the respect of the conference, they actually need to win. So I will take Akawasi Yeboah, I will take Stony Brook, and I will take Jerron Cornish to be the facilitator and be the floor general point guard that cashes my ticket at 9 o'clock.
That makes sense there. That makes a ton of sense. Jay Money's also on Vermont with Max. I joined in. I got -14.5 and -110 available at Bookmaker. Well, we're over time, but there's just too much to still talk about. So let's hammer some things out. One question came in here from our man Ring Ring, says, ask about Abilene Christian. We know that Sean Williams is on Abilene Christian. You've had a great read on this school since the beginning of the year. What do you think about Abilene Christian here at Stephen F. Austin?
Yeah, give me a piece of Albion Christian. I'll take Peyton Ricks and BJ Maxwell any day. They can play 9 guys deep. They're decent from the free throw. They're decent from the free throw line in their road games. I like their 3-point advantage. I like their field goal advantage. I think that Albion Christian is playing a Stephen F. Austin team that is reeling. They did get a win. They didn't cover the spread. I think that Albion is finally ready to step up to Stephen F. Austin, punch him in the gut, force some cock soup down their throat, and win this game for us tonight. Let's go, Albion.
Wow. Okay. There's a question answered. Now, I'm just going to pick out a couple spots here because we don't have time, obviously, to go through the whole card. Big Boss, whom we love dearly on this show, wants to know your feeling about Nevada tonight. At home against Colorado State, opened as 21.5-point favorites, now down to 19 or even 18.5. What are you thinking about your Wolfpack this evening?
Yeah, so as you can see, I am rocking the pack. There we go, Nevada. And I will be taking them tonight. I don't know what's good for me. I know that Nevada's been really bad for me. I know that they've been screwing me on the spread. I do not learn my lesson. I'm going with Nevada again tonight. Give me them 18.5 points. I think that this team is just going to realize one game soon, that Maxwell Smart's betting on them, and he needs to get some money off them. So let's go with Nevada. I'm going to make it simple like that.
Wow, okay, I feel you. Also, some late games. You've had a great read on Hawaii. You put me on Hawaii a couple times in the last 2 weeks, and they've both been winners. They're at home against UC Irvine tonight. Irvine opens as 3-point favorites, down to 1.5 at some books. Total up from 129 to 131. You have a feel here?
Yeah, like it's hard to judge UC Irvine on the island. I think that Evan Leonard and Max Hazard really got to be on point tonight against this Hawaii team, because they have a little bit of confidence. They did lose the game after the Cal Sun win, but they beat Cal Sun because Cal Sun has no depth. So I'm going to have to go with UC Irvine tonight. The fact that the line has gone against them doesn't really faze me. I think that this is a team that can win the game. So that's really all I needed. I'll take them on the money line.
Take them on the money line. Interesting stuff there. Also, Imp 13 420 lover as well says Drake Duquesne win me loot. How we looking tonight? St. Louis at Duquesne. You have a feel here?
Yeah, this is a really tough game because it's, do you back a defense or do you back a positionless team that really can get hot from three and actually knows how to freaking drive the ball with some freaking effectiveness? St. Louis is not really trustworthy, even though they are on paper very dominant. If Tremaine Isabel is chucking up threes and he is freaking at the free throw line at clutch time, Duquesne's going to end up covering the spread and winning this game. I think that defense is going to matter in this game. I think that St. Louis obviously has the better defense, but what is going to be happening down low? Is Hassan French going to be able to exploit Michael Hughes? I don't think so. I thought so earlier, and the more I look at the numbers and the more I think about what I watched from Duquesne and how they played in that game against Richmond, I think that even though they're playing a different class of defense, I think that Sincere Carey, I think that Frankie Hughes, I think Eric Williams Jr. are up to the task to take on St. Louis, the dominant team of the A-10, and put a barrier up to them claiming the title.
Wow, I like that call. We also have Twatty Latte joining us, also liking Duquesne. I think Duquesne might be the play. Max, what was your spot on, sorry, I was going over some things on UC Irvine, Hawaii. What was your play there?
Yeah, I'm going to take UC Irvine on the money line. I'm not going to take them 1.5 on the spread. If I can get minus 135 or minus 130, I'd rather just play it safe and square that way.
I feel that. Maxie, we got to roll. We got King's Court coming in here in 17 minutes. The guys are wondering if you have a best bet. And also, is there another game that we haven't spoken about that you're really liking here? Do you have a best bet? And is there something else you like?
Well, I'll just say this right now. Loyola, Maryland, as a 12-point underdog to Bucknell, should be live tonight. Andrew Kosteka has played really great for Loyola, Maryland. They are coming off they are on a 3-game winning streak. They're 12-point dogs. It doesn't make sense to me. Bucknell is the class of the Patriot League this year. They've already proven that. I think that's too many points. That would probably be one of my best plays. And secondly, if I'm going through them, hold on one second. I'll be quick. I would be going with Loyola Chicago tonight. I love Loyola. I don't give a shit about the line movement. I think that they go in. I think that they win by 8 to 9 points.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff. I think if you and Twatty are both on Duquesne, it's a must move for me. I won't bother line chopping. I just see a Pinnacle at plus 114. I will take Duquesne at plus 114. Also think your Loyola Maryland spot is really nice. I think that is too many points. So I'm going to add Loyola Maryland right here very quickly. Loyola Maryland on the spread. Here we go. Getting a plus 12 at plus 12.5 at Bet Online. Plus 12.5 Loyola Maryland at plus 12.5 at Loyola Maryland at minus 105. What an absolute treat it is to roll with you, Max. I hear you're doing some other shows this week. Can you let us know where we can find you on Twitter and what else you're up to this week?
Well, I only got 2 more shows this week. I'll be on tomorrow on the LoBag show with you, Jimmy, and I will be making my first appearance on King's Court with the one and only King Rail and J Money. I am hyped for that. I am ready for it. I cannot wait to freaking lock down some winners with those 2 NBA geniuses. So make sure you watch Thursday, 7 o'clock, King Rail, J Money, Maxwell Smart. Holy cannoli.
Holy cannoli is right. There will be cock soup served to bookies all over the land. Definitely catch Max on King's Court. King's Court's coming up here in 15 minutes. Maxie, my man, could you please introduce Freddie Fortune?
Bringing to you, live from Costa Rica, SBR Studios, Lucrative Larry.
Upset. Freddie Fortune's a little choked.
Hello, thank you, Maxwell.
He did introduce Lucrative Larry.
Oh, Lucrative Larry.
Yeah, your nemesis.
Wow, I don't know what to think anymore.
Don't worry. Stay cool. Stay cool. Stay calm.
He sends me messages that I'm his best friend. On
Yeah,
Twitter.
yeah. No, I was shocked to hear that as well.
Now I realize that I'm just another guy from the LoShack and the Back Show. I was very happy. Like 30 seconds ago, I brought this gift for you. I have a surprise. We passed the 700 live viewers on the show.
Thank you. But this is my peanut butter. So
Maxwell ruined everything.
keep
It's
your
not
hands.
my fault.
Keep your hands off my
It's
shit.
not my fault. Australian Open. The game is at 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time, which still counts as my play of tomorrow.
Sure.
Naomi Osaka over Carolina Pliskova at minus 150 at Bet365. Fuck my life.
Wow. Wow. That was a very sad ending to an absolute spectacular show. Shout out to our guests, Walter Trotter, J Money is Money, and Maxwell Smart. Let's keep banging out winners here on LoShack in the Bag. Let J, A-Lo's Bookmakers. Stick around for King's Court coming up in 13 minutes.